Hey, how's it going? And welcome back to Wolf Plays Minecraft. We're back in our Sky Factory 4 world today, and we have got some brand new Superium armor. It took quite a while. We have to craft up the Inferium essence into each stage before reaching Superium, and then we have to craft up ingots and a couple of extra parts to get the armor. It was a complicated process, but it's certainly well worth it. Not only does this armor protect us better than diamond armor does, but it's also got the ability of creative flight, which means basically I can fly as if we are in creative now, which is very helpful. And we've got a couple of enchantments on our armor, one of which would be Shadow Step on the boots, which is what's giving me that little cloud effect. That'll keep me from being detected by the mobs, at least as easily. So, now that we've got our brand new set of armor and got a couple of extra weapons, I think it's time that we go to some other dimensions and see what kind of hunting and gathering we can do. Alright, so why don't we start out with the Twilight Forest and jump in there and see what kind of resources and creatures we can find. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need the Silk Touch pickaxe to bring back a couple of the ores that I'm told can only be found in either Twilight Forest or Lost Cities, but we shall see. So first step is to eat a piece of cake and be whisked off to the Twilight Forest dimension. I've already put down our overworld cake, so I know we can actually get back, which is always important. And again, now that we have our Supremium armor, we can actually fly around, which will make this entire journey much more pleasant, because I know that the Twilight Forest is a fairly large map, and even though it only is showing us this one little planetoid here right now, there is a lot more going on here than meets the eye. So we are going to have to fly around and explore and find some new little land pods to find out what's going on in this dimension. But for now, I think we're going to have to hunt off some of these creatures, because we don't have you guys in the overworld. So what happens when we kill Twilight Forest creatures? Squirrel. Well, we end up getting some pink wool. That's what happens. And some meat. Cook up the meat later. Hey, squirrels. 2 forest squirrels, no drops. And a deer. Wild deer. It is kind of interesting, though. They do have pretty good representations of these animals. And we got some raw venison on that one. So we're picking up some animal parts, but nothing too spectacular just yet. I have a feeling, there's some vanilla growing here too. I have a feeling we're going to have to start digging down into this planetoid and find out what's underneath the grass. What's that? What are you? Oh, you're a dwarf rabbit. Can I kill a dwarf rabbit? Can't catch a dwarf rabbit, that's for sure. Well, let's see what we can find under the soil then. Oh, actually we have some olive wood here too. So I'm going to have to come back with an axe and bring some trees home. Let's see here. Why don't we fly? Why don't we just slide off the edge of the cliff here? And oh, we do have some ores down here, don't we? Yeah, this is a little bit cheaty, but that's why we have the Supremium armor. I wanted to be able to fly around and see stuff without falling into the void. But we do have quite a bit of things down here. We got some gold and coal, and we got some rock crystal ore. That's a new one. Nickel and dilithium. That's fairly rare. We're going to have to pick that up. And we got some iron and some boron and magnesium. So yeah, we're going to have to come down here with our pick and gather up all these different resources. See what else we can find in this place. We got lead and silver. All right. Well, I think we're going to start by just popping off the ores that we can get on the outside here. I'm not sure if this whole block is solid or if they have caves in it. We can find that out as we start digging. but I think this is at least enough to get started. So why don't we go ahead and start pulling out some of these ores. All right, well, just in this first little planetoid of the Twilight Forest, we found that it is in fact hollow and full of mobs. I am really thankful that we have the shadow step on the boots, because that has made it so basically the mobs don't see me until I walk up and smack them in the back of the head, and that's really helpful. But for now, we do have most of the room pretty much lit up. There's still some spawnable spots, obviously. There's still some mobs spawning in here. But That's controllable since we have Shadow Step. I'm not too worried about them because they're not just going to run up and attack me. But I would like to point out how much ore is actually in here. Like, there's some iron and coal and gold and redstone and common things, but there's also some really uncommon stuff like titanium and dilithium and lithium and magnesium and all the crazy ores coming in the mod packs that you can't get anywhere else. This is where you get them. All you have to do is come to the Twilight Forest, dig down through this first little planetoid, and you will find a very large cave. In addition to the ores, we also have random chests just kind of placed throughout the room. And while the treasures weren't great, they did have a couple of interesting items and unique items, things you really can't get anywhere else. Let's head back home and see what else we got from this trip. Alright, so we are back, and let's see how many different treasures we got from the Twilight Forest. There we go. Well, it wasn't too many, but it is a whole lot of different unique ores. We got dilithium, thorium, nickel, titanium, some lithium, boron, magnesium, uranium, a bunch of different unique ores that we couldn't get anywhere else. We also got some dilithium crystal, a few rock crystals, a monster spawner, which is going to be really handy. Just pick that up with Silk Touch, and we can basically name it to any monster we want to spawn simply by using a spawn egg, which we'll get to in later episodes. We also got some meat and wool, a raven feather, which I'm not quite sure what it's going to be useful for, but I'm sure it's going to be useful. We got a peacock feather fan. These might actually be quest items in the Twilight Forest. I'll have to find out about that. We got an ore magnet. We got a Charm of Life 1. And some ironwood ingots. So overall, it's a pretty profitable visit to the Twilight Forest. We also got some other random stuff, and I did come back and empty the chest a couple of times because my inventory filled up fairly quickly. And we still need to go back and mine out all the ores and actually pick up all the different things. We basically just went in for a quick look around this time, and I will certainly be back, and we'll have to clean up some more. But for now, I think that will do it. So that was our quick little jaunt into the Twilight Forest. I am sure that we'll be back because there's a whole quest line and bosses to fight and items to collect. So we'll definitely be back into the Twilight Forest in the future. But for now, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and join us again next time on Wolf Plays Minecraft.